All right, we welcome him back for the second time. You know him from all his work on the NFL Network, the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank, the After Show with Jim Rome and Adam Rank. It's, of course, Mr. Adam Rank. How are you, sir?
What's going on? Great to be here. Great to get another opportunity to talk some music. I listen. Here's the thing, because last time I came on, I looked like such a, I don't know, like such a dad, I guess is the way to put it. Like it's so out of place. So I got a black concert. I didn't look to see which black concert tee I was putting on, but I grabbed the Depeche Mode. So I hope that's fine. I'm sorry, I love music. They play drums now. They got a drummer now, so we should be cool.
Depeche Mode is perfectly fine because the last time I saw them, I went and was invited by my buddy Kerry King from Slagel.
Oh,
it's good enough for Kerry King, then we're all good. No worries on Depeche Mode. They're a very metal friendly band. A lot of metalheads love them, so you're good.
I love that. That's one of the things too that I think that we missed out, or at least I did growing up, is everybody was so like you're either into this new wave, you're into heavy metal, or you're into punk, and I kind of liked all of it, So I'm like, hey, I like Agent Orange, I like Duran Duran. Like it's like, hey, everybody has good music, and I also like, a lot of Iron Maiden and Motley Crue. I don't know if I should have thrown that up. I don't know if I should admit. No, I do like.
That's okay. They're all right.
You know what? I do like Motley Crue. I'm sorry. I will find. I know.
Well, hey. Quick footnote on Motley Crue. If it wasn't for Motley Crue in the album Dr. Feelgood, which is a great record, by the way, that's how Metallica found Bob Rock to do the Black Album and everything else. So there's a little tie-in between Metallica and Motley Crue even there.
All right.
So you're good. You're good on all those fronts. You're good. So today we're talking about one of the most important songs really in music history, AC/DC's Hell's Bells, which of course is the first song we all heard on the first record after Bon Scott had passed away. Where did you come in on AC/DC? Were you a fan of the Bon Scott era? Or did you come in a little bit later?
A little bit later, but still, one of my all-time favorite bands. Hell's Bell. I have something prepared for today that I'm going to surprise you with at some point. But one of the cool things, though, with AC/DC is, their catalog. Another one of those bands is just like, God, it's hit after hit after hit. My favorite song is actually, it is Hell's Bells. But my second favorite song, I should say, is A Long Way to the Top, if you want to rock and roll. And it's like they have such these great anthems. Like that's the one thing about AC/DC is like the number of anthems that they have, and just it just defines a generation, so to speak.
Yeah, and this record too is the second biggest selling album in music history, which is pretty incredible when you think about there's a lot of albums out there in this particular one. It's an amazing record. By the way, the first time I ever heard it, you'll appreciate this being an Orange County guy, was actually K-Rock, the radio station K-Rock, at I think it was either midnight or 11 o'clock. It was late, the day before it actually got released to the public. They played the whole album. Of course, I stayed up and listened to it. It was kind of obviously blown away, but it's so weird though, I was a massive fan of Bon Scott and AC/DC. They're my favorite band at that point. And then, of course, Bon passes. And then this record comes out, and it's like, oh, my God, this is an unbelievably amazing record. And Brian Johnson, who I knew before because he was in this band, Geordie, that I knew. So I was familiar with him. I thought, it probably will work out. I didn't realize it was going to work out quite as well as it has.
No, for sure. And it really is, we talked about this last time when I came on the show, and we were talking about Bark at the Moon. It's these moments in time where you're sort of passing the torch, where you're going from one really creative influence to another. We saw it with Ozzy Osbourne, where they were able to go from Randy Rhoads to Jake E. Lee. And of course, with AC/DC, it's always more abrupt when it is your lead singer. And I think that the masses spoke to it when they went out there and made this, as you said, the number 2 rock album of all time. And it really is like taking over. It's like watching a sports team where you have a generational superstar and you're like, oh no, he's leaving or he's doing this. Are we going to be able to keep this momentum going? But they're able to do it. And I think, continue to just exceed. I mean, even to this day, AC/DC is still, held in such high esteem that, again, you get the, we were talking about this the other day, speaking of rock t-shirts, of like, hey, what are rock t-shirts that you see a lot where you're like, there's no way the kid knows this band. Like there's toddlers walking around in Nirvana t-shirts. You're like, okay, like, but I don't want to hate. Like I'm old enough in my life to where I don't need to gatekeep this stuff. Like, who cares? But AC/DC is one of those. I've seen a lot of it. I don't know if it's just where I'm at, but I've seen a lot more of the AC/DC, and I'm like, all right, like I see you walking. I think the kids love. I think Back in Black is the song that does it for a lot of people, but Hell's Bells also very prominent, not just in music. And again, I'll get to this in a moment, but for another reason too.
Yeah, I mean, just an amazing song. And it's like you mentioned, is your favorite AC/DC song. It's not my favorite overall AC/DC song, but it's might be my favorite of the of the Brian Johnson era. And it just such the way to begin the record, especially after knowing the whole history with the bell and that just incredible opening riff and going into the song is just, I was just blown away from the moment I heard it again on K-Rock. So I couldn't wait to get my hands on the record the next day when it came out. But it's such an iconic track. And it's one of those things where, this one thing I love about music, just everything comes together perfectly. It's like literally the perfect song. Opening track, the opening, like I said, the bells, the guitar thing, and then Brian's amazing vocals. It's just the guitar solo is incredible. Like everything about this song is just literally perfect.
Yeah, and we talked about this last time I was on too. Is I'm always a big fan of those songs that always kind of they have a ramp up, so to speak,
Yes.
and it's just something that builds. I talk about some of my favorite Metallica songs. Battery being one of my favorite Metallica songs of all time. Like that build up to get to that song, and a lot of the other ones too. I was thinking Damage Incorporated also does that a little bit as well. But like, and that is one of the key components for it. And again, when you're a band who, going from Bond to Brian, and you're like, okay, we've got to make this stick. We got to stick the landing. We got to hit it off. Kind of like, I don't know if they do this still, and forgive my ignorance on this, but it's always like one of those things where from a comedic standpoint, it's like you always want to start off with your second best joke or something, or at least try to make somebody laugh within 15 seconds so that you establish that, okay, hey, I'm funny. You're going to keep going. I'm going to listen to what you say for the next 15, 20 minutes. And I think with music, or at least especially here in this song, this is the song where you're like, okay, I'm giving this, we're back in. Like we're not sure what we're going to get out of AC/DC now, but once they hit this, you're like, okay, well, I've bought in for everything else, and let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, just perfect opening track, and it still blows me with how popular this record is. I mean, how big AC/DC is. They're still when they do play live, which isn't a lot because obviously they're getting older. I'm happy they are coming actually back to Vegas soon in August, which would be fun to see them maybe just one last time. But they're still playing, and selling out stadiums everywhere. Like especially in Europe, they're playing these 150,000 seat venues. It's insane.
I love, I love it. By the way, keep me in mind for that August show. I might have to come out for that because I want to see them. I want to see them one last time. But one of the most popular tribute bands here in Southern California is, I think they are called Hell's Bells. But there's a tribute band that comes around Huntington Beach all the time. And now one of my friends is in a Ramones cover band. And I was like, and now when they play together, you're like, this is the best of both worlds. Cause like you get this in the crowd, and it's a cool band. I don't know if they do this all the time, but they did have a bagpipes guy there for a long way to the top. So It really was just so amazing. And it's, I don't know, it's a testament to them being able to pick it up and keep going and what they meant, not only musically, but in other avenues as well.
Yeah, I'm not a big cover band guy at all, but I did, of all things, in Stockholm, Sweden, saw an AC/DC cover band that was incredible. Like the singer was so good. The whole band was really good. I was just there with the Modern Martyrs hanging around. They said, "Oh, we got to go see this band, this AC/DC cover band. They're really good." I'm like, "Oh, really? We have to?" And I went like, "Oh my God, it's actually really good." So you never know. But just the fact that there's 8 billion cover bands of AC/DC shows you how enduring their legacy is.
It is a little funny though when you talk about tribute bands. It's like the ones for bands that are still active, Like somebody asked, like speaking of Duran Duran, somebody's like, "Hey, there's a Duran Duran tribute band," and we're like, "I just saw the actual band. I don't need to see it." Like, as a matter of fact, I was, I mean, like, but these guys are young. I'm like, I don't care if they're younger and they sound like the tribute band sounds like how they use it. Doesn't matter. Like, I'd never seen Roger. I was thinking about this because like the eras where I was going to Duran Duran shows, it was right after was it Big Thing or Big Top, the album with I Don't Want Your Love in it. And it was like Roger had left the band. And I'm like, I've never seen Roger play before. So like, I want to go see him. I don't want to see the tribute band. And similarly, like as much fun as it is to go to, well, the Gallagher's isn't around anymore, but anybody who's familiar with the Huntington Beach area remembers Gallagher's. But it's like, yeah, it's cool to go to J. King Neptunes and go see this band on a Friday night when we've got nothing to do. But I really just want to see the band.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point because it's like, why go see a cover? I get it. You know, bands don't tour all the time, and you know, there's a lot of fans. I mean, clearly there's a demand for it. There's a lot of like smaller clubs in the country now. They're basically staying alive because they have, you know, tons of cover bands. Like I'm in Dallas right now, and there's a really great venue here called the Granada Theater, which I've seen a ton of shows at for our bands and other bands. It's great, but to stay open every night a week, 7 nights a week, and actually make money, they have probably 60% of the time cover bands. So I get it. It's a thing. I've not been there to see a cover band though. That being said,
yeah. I mean, I get it. I don't want to besmirch anybody for living the dream. I used to go when I was a regular attendee of Las Vegas. We used to go see a couple of bands. One of them was called Arena, and then they gave way to Spandex Nation, which is fun. And there's not one band. It's like, hey, we're playing all the hits. There's a time, there is something to be said about that. It is fun. It is cool. We're not trying to take away from anybody who's in a cover band. You guys are great. Tribute bands are awesome.
Exactly. Now you mentioned that you came in on AC/DC during the Brian era. So, which means of course you had to backtrack to the Bon Scott era. And I love asking this question just because we did Geezer Butler and Heaven and Hell. I was talking to Mark Lewis, the producer, about that. And he came in on Sabbath on Heaven and Hell. So he had never heard Ozzy before, and he loved Sabbath with Dio as the singer. So
yeah,
what was when you went backwards to the Bon Scott stuff?
I was the same way. Like it's with Dio, I was also like Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio. I had no idea that Ozzy was like, oh, like he was the singer. Like you'd go and see some old videos. Even to this day, and it's like with Iron Maiden too, with Bruce Dickinson, like that to me was just who the lead singer of Iron Maiden was. And so forgive me, it all bleeds in too. Like for me, like I play this game. We were playing this game. Oh, I play this game with my kids. We were doing it. Believe it or not, we were coming out of the movie theater, and we're walking through this place, Bellaterra in Huntington Beach. And the music, the loudspeaker, like the house music, so to speak, of like walking through this mall, they were playing, I want to say it was Big Mouth Strikes Again. And I just asked my daughter, like my daughter's going to know. I'm like, hey, is this the Smiths or is this Morrissey single? She's like, no. And I'm that way. Like, I got to be perfectly truthful with you. I'm not going to front. Like a lot of Beatles stuff is like that. Like, is this a George Harrison song or is this Beatles proper? To me, everything is AC/DC. Like I don't, because I didn't live in the Bon Scott era. It's not like, oh, that's not hit. Like that wasn't him. Like, oh, I just will throw on a video and be like, oh, okay, that's not who I expected to be singing this. So for me, it's all, I feel like a poser because I'm like, it's all the same. Like there are other bands that I'm into that I could really, like, I could tell you, speaking of Depeche Mode, like, hey, everything that's Vincent Clark as opposed to Alan Wilder, I know the difference on that. And then I know when Martin took over and things like that. So for everything for AC/DC, like I'm sorry if that makes me uncool, but I'm not going to front. Brian, I'm not going to lie to you and try to be a poser, but I like.
No, it's perfectly fine. And look, the singers are not that different. So it's, you know, I could see, I have friends that do the same thing. They're like, what? Oh, I didn't know that. Cause they see AC/DC now and they're like, was that a Bon Scott song or no, that was a Bon Scott song, but it's fine. As long as you're a fan. I'm
at
not
the
one
risk of somebody in the comments being like, idiot, that was Bon Scott. Like, oh, sorry. Cause I'll forget. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, I actually got
Yes.
in trouble. I did a Kiss podcast, and they asked me what my favorite Kiss record without makeup was. And I said "Creatures of the Night," and I forgot that they had makeup on there. It's right. It was right kind of before they
Yeah.
took off the makeup, but I couldn't really think of any other songs.
Lick It Up.
Yeah,
Wait, no, no, no.
probably.
Animalize.
Yeah, one either of those two. But anyway, somebody in the comments was like, "This guy doesn't know what he's talking about."
This guy. I'm just gonna tell you, that part of it wouldn't be what I would be able to do. Like for them. Like there was another example. But it's the one cool thing is like it still pretty much stays the same. And not like it stays the same. And again, you mentioned this, like it's not like a complete departure where you're like, oh, these are two different bands. Where with Van Halen, for instance.
Yeah. Or even Sabbath too.
Sabbath is a lot of like completely, and not that it's bad. Like I've been on record is I remember at one time, oh God, who was the old Cardinals coach who took the Cardinals to the Super Bowl before Bruce Arians? Wait, was Bruce Arians the coach? No, it was
no.
Oh my God, I can picture the guy's face. We had this conversation in the green room because I was doing this thing with him. And I go, hey, Van Halen or Van Hagar? He's like, which singer of Van Halen do you like better? He goes, is it cool to say that I like both? And I'm like, it's not cool because people get very upset about this, but it is cool in that both of them were awesome and both of them had great albums. And I don't think there's anything about it. Karabi, speaking of Motley Crue, Karabi's Motley Crue, they might as well have just called that a different band.
Yeah.
Because it was not really, and it's not like Vince Neil's going to go out and sing Hooligan's Holiday. But you know, yeah. And that's the one cool thing about AC/DC. And it does fool me. And again, I don't want to front. I don't want to make somebody, because I know how seriously people can take this sometimes. I don't want to be the guy who's got that completely wrong and they just tune me out. So I'll let them know I'm an idiot right off the top. I'll just freely admit it.
You're good. And it's interesting because, you know, we've talked about this a lot over the course of this podcast because we've talked about a lot of bands that were able to do the switch singers thing, which is maybe you can count on one hand, you know, Sabbath, Van Halen, AC/DC. There's not very many others that are able to do it. Maiden. Yep. Not very many. And when you see, you know, what happened to Iron Maiden in the middle of it, when Blaze Bayley was in the band, which I love. Blaze is a great singer, but the wrong guy for Iron Maiden, or as you mentioned, Karabi and Motley Crue. It just doesn't work. It's that dynamic of the lead singer is just such an important part.
Yeah, for sure. And it's one thing. Yeah. It's one thing to change guitarist or do whatever. And it's funny too, because when you see some of these bands that are still touring, and I think Rat's one of these, Quiet Riot for sure, because Kevin DuBrow has passed away. But it's like, hey, when the singer's gone, it's kind of like really, really difficult. Like it really is something where like it's almost irreplaceable because that voice is that voice. And sometimes it's like, and it's okay. Like when Guns N' Roses started going with the Stone Temple with Scott Weiland, you know, and they were just, you know, the completely different band. Like, okay, fine. Like this, I love like this. And it was great. And it's just like, I wish more people would, I understand marketing and you want to get people, but like, if you would have ever gone to a Guns N' Roses show, but like, hey, we got Scott Weiland, you're like, this doesn't, and not in a sense of like, not like a one-off, not like when Axl was filling in for AC/DC, but like we're now Velvet Revolver. You're like, yeah, cool. Like just do another band. It's fine. I'm still going to listen. I'm still going to enjoy it. But it's okay to change. But I think that AC/DC did the right thing.
Yeah, and I know that was a big question mark for them because again, you know, Bon was such an imposing figure in the band, and you know, kind of not really the leader. Malcolm was always the leader, but you know, as the front man, it's very important. I think they had a couple of minutes where what do we do now? I mean, we have got to get a new singer, which is, you know, number one, kind of weird, but I think they all felt that Bon would want them to go on as AC/DC with another singer, and they hit the jackpot with Brian, and you know, the rest is history there, of course. So you mentioned that this particular song we're talking about, Hell's Bells, is your favorite AC/DC song. Why is that?
You know why? Because it's a sports implication for me. And this is it's fun. I love Back in Black. I really love too. Like it's funny because Back in Black, for anybody who watches professional wrestling right now, Seth Rollins, who back in the day when he was an independent wrestler was known as Tyler Black, this was his theme song. The Road Warriors back in the day used to use Iron Man, which was obviously a Sabbath song. Ozzy Osbourne Sabbath song, by the way, that I should know.
Yes.
But it's always like a sports connection that like really brings me in. And A Long Way to the Top, that is my favorite. But like I really love Hell's Bells because back in the day, and this is I don't know if he was the first. And I know there'll probably be some baseball head who's like, no, Bruce Sutter did this back in the whatever. But to my knowledge, and maybe he wasn't the first, but he was one of the innovators of this, is Trevor Hoffman, who was a longtime closer for the San Diego Padres, used Hell's Bells. Now, obviously, Mariano Rivera was very famous for using Enter Sandman for this. I don't know who was first, so I'm sorry if the Yankees fans going to come in here and get upset, but I live on the West Coast, and I watch more Padre games than I watched Yankee games. So when Trevor Hoffman came into Hell's Bells, it was a stadium experience. And it was one of the first times too, because they would play in Qualcomm back in the day or Jack Murphy Stadium. And they had the lights going with it and it became a musical production. And there was something about it. And it was one of the reasons why, you would not leave a Padres game early. Well, you shouldn't leave anyways, because the game's not over, but it's one of those things like, oh, we're going to hear Hell's Bells. And it was just ominous. And it made Trevor Hoffman this larger than life person. Now, a lot of people might think that Trevor Hoffman was this guy who threw like 103 like, no, he wasn't. He really wasn't. But he was so imposing and so intimidating because he came out to Hell's Bells and the stadium was into it and everybody was into it. Like you couldn't help but get caught up in the emotion of everything that was going on whenever you would go out to take the mound.
Yeah, I remember that. That was just, that was amazing. And he might have been, he was certainly one of the originators of that, or whoever came up with the idea, but whether it was him or the team or the PR people, whatever. But yeah, that was awesome. I love when that stuff creeps into sports, and even now you have walk-up music for like hitters and stuff, which is cool. So speaking of sports, because you're a big sports guy, I want to talk about two quick things. The World Cup's going on right now.
Yeah.
Sorry to take you away from that.
No, it's okay. It's not like Messi's playing or anything.
Messi's playing not far from him in Dallas. And I was thinking about trying to go to this game, but the prices were so
incredible.
insane. Like I'm not paying 10 grand to see Messi as much as he's my favorite player. So that being said, who's your pick to win the World Cup?
Oh man. It's hard. God, Norway is going to win it. And I'm so torn on them because Martin Odegaard is one of my favorite players. And he's, getting completely fit now and looking a lot better. But it's also got Erling Haaland on it, who I do not like. And it's one of those things like I don't want Haaland to win the World Cup but then I want Odegaard to win it. So one of the great things about the World Cup is watching players from your favorite team. Now I'm an Arsenal supporter, so we're looking at obviously England, but like Belgium, obviously Norway. Spain's got 3 guys, and it's fun. And Capier plays for Ecuador. Like, it's really fun to just root for these guys and do all that stuff. But it's what I've seen so far. Now, obviously, France looks pretty prominent. They look really good. The USA is playing fantastic football right now, and I really love to see it. But the team that has impressed me the most right now has been Norway. Who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be France. I mean, they just look so good. And Mbappe is, Messi is my favorite player of all time. And he's the greatest of all time for now. But Mbappe, I think, is the best player in the world right now. And anytime you have somebody with that much talent on a team and they're a good team, but it's fun because really there's not one major dominant team. Like you just mentioned 3 teams that you were talking about. And any of those teams could win it. France could win. Argentina could win it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So I'm not a big soccer fan, but I love the World Cup. I always watch the World Cup when it comes around. I'm trying to watch almost all the games. I'm in Dallas. I'm going to try to get to a game if the ticket prices become somewhat reasonable. But it's fun. It's just fun to watch. And yeah, the USA, home team. So we're all hoping they do well. So far, so good. But they haven't really played anybody that good yet. So let's see when they play.
Hey. Paraguay is fine. We'll see. And they're going to destroy Turkey as well. So that's going to be another one. And then, you know what? Honestly, if they get through, I know New Zealand had a little bit of a tough stretch last night with who was it? Egypt.
Yep.
So they might not be that, but we could play somebody the level of New Zealand. So there's like a real legitimate chance of the USA getting down to the Sweet 16.
Yep.
So that'll be really cool. And they are playing good ball. They're actually scoring goals, and something that Greg Burkholder told us was not possible. You're like, oh yeah, we can actually play some quality football. So,
and that's without
I do love that Antonio Freeman's son is playing. I remember one time I was doing GMFB back in the day, and Justin Reed was on there of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm like, bro, I go, you're the reason why we're terrible at soccer. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, you were great at soccer, and then you stopped playing to go into the NFL. If you were still playing competitive soccer, well, we need like 4 of you. Yeah, right. And we would be fine. We might not win the World Cup, but we'd be a lot better than we are. But we see that with Antonio Freeman's son. So happy to see that happening.
Yeah, it's good. And so you're talking about football. I'm a massive football fan, and these are the dark days of football where there's middle of the off season, not much going on. And I'm trying to wrap my head. It's still early to really tell, but you're the expert here, so I'll ask you: who are the favorites to win the Super Bowl next season?
Obviously, everybody's going to be looking at the LA Rams for what they were able to do to get Myles Garrett. That's been huge for them. They also got McDuffie, like a lot of the moves that they've done, and they're teasing a possible return for Aaron Donald. So Aaron Donald could sit there about week 10 and be like, you know what, I'm going to go out there and play. He doesn't need to show up until the playoffs and sign a league minimum contract. I don't know. The salary cap doesn't matter. Yeah. So the Rams are going to be one of the favorites to do it. On the AFC side, though, it's really wide open because I don't know what's going to happen with New England. Everything that went on with Mike Vrabel, that could have an impact on them. Excuse me. Is Patrick Mahomes going to be fit and ready to go? It looks like he could be ready for week 1. I really like the Denver Broncos. I like getting Jaden Waddle for them to kind of open up their offense a little bit. So the AFC is more wide open, but on the NFC side, it looks like the Rams. And then you have like the Eagles, the Bears, the Packers, and all those teams, just the 49ers fighting it out and trying to figure out who can knock off the Rams.
Yeah, as long as Stafford stays healthy, I think that's the biggest question mark for the Rams because he, supposedly he was hurt last year and had an amazing year. So who knows? But yeah, if he can stay healthy, the Rams look pretty scary. And yeah, I agree with you on the AFC. It's like I was trying to figure out like is it the Chiefs? Is it is there going to be a dark horse again? Kind of like the Seattle came up out of nowhere, and who knows? It's competitive though. I like that. There's not again a real dominant team. So
who's your team? Who is your team though?
I don't really have a team anymore. I'm a West Coast guy, so I'm not one of these guys that's tried it. My favorite team has been since I was 3 years old. So I was a big Bronco fan for a long time. Growing up as a kid, a lot of my family lived in Denver. We used to go up there for the holidays, and this is when the Broncos were horrible. But that city loved them so much. It became a big Bronco fan. And then, of course, Elway comes in. And so I've been a big fan. Not so much lately. I can't really root for a team that's owned by the Walmart people. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, but they're building their own stadium, though. That's the one thing that you got to like. Like that's my leanings would be against rich people. But like Stan Kroenke's building his own stuff, spending money on the teams. If you're rich but you're spending money on the team, I'm like, I'll give you a little bit more grace.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Look, they're all billionaires and all crazy people, but I like them. I like the Rams. I've always been a fan of the Rams. I love Sean McVay. I think he's a great coach, and from what I've heard, awesome. He's a really good dude as well. So there's a lot of teams. I just root for fun, good football, and that I spend my entire Sunday just watching Red Zone the entire day. That's all I do is I just stay there and watch Red Zone the whole day. And I have like 2 other TVs with other games going on in the background. So I love football on Sundays, and it's almost on every day. But I was curious this year because I normally I can go, okay, there's like 3 or 4 teams, but this year I have no clue. And do the Raiders stand a chance of even going 500? Is there a possibility?
I think so. Honestly, yeah, I think that Fernando Mendoza comes in there and eventually he's going to start. The only thing that could derail them is if they're like, hey, we're going to turn this over to Mendoza, similar to what happened with Eli Manning years ago, where the Giants were 5-4 with Kurt Warner as the starting quarterback. And they're like, well, let's go to Eli now. You're like, you guys could make the playoffs. They're like, yeah, but we want to win Super Bowls eventually. And it worked out as they won 2 against Tom Brady. So the Raiders could be in a similar type of situation. I kind of like Ashton Genty. Brock Bowers is one of the better tight ends in the league. Yep. So they've got some players. Like they could be fun. It's a tough division though, because I was going to say San Diego, but like the LA Chargers are so good. Kansas City's getting Mahomes back. I would say that the Raiders are going to have a tough time being 500. I don't think that's a knock on the team. I think that's more indicative of the division that they got going on more than anything else. But I think the Raiders are actually headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm the primo season ticket holder of the Raiders because of, well, two reasons. Number one, first reason is my buddy Kerry King, who I mentioned earlier. He's a massive Raider fan, so he kind of roped me into buying 2 tickets next to his 2 tickets, and unbeknownst to how much it was going to cost, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's fun. The games are fun. The stadium's awesome.
You don't have Rain and Blood money. Like, what's going on?
Exactly. But and I know some of the guys who work for the Raiders are huge metalheads, so they're all really cool. I met Mark Davis, who's another big rock metal guy. He's actually a really nice guy.
He's a super nice guy. He's really
not sure he's a great owner, but he's a super nice guy. But
super cool though.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'm hope more for the team and my friends who are big fans. Headfield's another massive Raider fan, but every year it's like a whole new team, a whole new coaching staff, whole new everything, same results. So I'm very apprehensive going in. Can we just not go 3-13 and maybe make these people's lives a little bit better? But it should be interesting. Like I said, it's the that's why I'm so into the World Cup now, because it's in the dark days of sports where there's no hockey, no football. Trying to get into baseball a little bit more now that the pitch count and the ABS system makes it a lot quicker. It's a lot more fun to watch these days.
For sure.
But yeah, anyway, it's always fun to talk about football because September is not too far away. And
not too far. No, we're less than 100 days, so we're getting there.
Oh yeah, so football's almost here. Now you mentioned
earlier. It was Ken Wisenhunt, by the way. Ken Wisenhunt.
Oh, that's right, Ken Wisenhunt.
He's a really nice guy. Really like Ken Wisenhunt. So calm down in the comments. We got there. We're good.
Exactly. Now you mentioned earlier you had something.
I did. So for obviously one of the reasons that we got to know each other is I was doing the after hour with Jim Rome. And one of the staples that we would do in the after hour in the D block was top 5 list.
Yes.
So I wasn't going to come onto your show and not have a top 5 list. And I thought, based on Hell's Bells and the story I was talking about, Trevor Hoffman, I am going to give you my top 5 songs I would pick if I was a Major League Baseball closer.
Nice. Oh, I like this. Let's see.
So these are mine. Because again, I listen, I feel bad wearing a Depeche Mode shirt. I had to take out, I love this song by Collective Soul called, I think the song is called Wait, When All Your Weight Comes Down on Me. Because that has a great, that has, again, one of those intros. It's just super cool. I think if you're a professional wrestler or doing something like that, the intro of it is so great. So it's my 5A, so to speak. Just missed, but a great song by Collective Soul.
I love Collective Soul, so that's good.
They're good. They're fine. Yeah, they're good. They're good. But at number 5, because I wanted to curry favor with the fan base. I think that one Metallica song that I think kind of doesn't get, I don't think that anybody's used this as a closer song, but I would go with Creeping Death.
Well, my buddy, he wasn't really a closer, but my buddy Travis Blackley, who played for the A's and a few other major league teams, he used to come out to Creeping Death, but he wasn't really a closer. He was, kind of a mid reliever. So
okay, I'm glad somebody did that. I'm sure, but it wasn't somebody at Mariano or Trevor's.
No. He was only played 5 or 6 years. Good guy though.
That's pretty awesome. Like, I love how you just brush it. He only played 5 years. Like, that's a pretty significant thing. Like, I tell people too, and again, a quick aside, like I covered sports for years, and I would cover like Division III sports, Chapman University, places like that. And you're like, what's funny is those kids who are playing were such accomplished athletes where you're just like, they're all league, they're all this, they're all that. They're like, you were 5'9" instead of 6 feet. That's why you didn't play Division I. That's why you didn't get drafted. But exceptional athletes. So we'll put some respect on that. That's pretty good. Even a middle reliever making pretty good money. But at number 5, we're going to go with Creeping Death by Metallica. Number 4 is usually a wild card. And this is where I would have put the Collective Soul song in there. But I'm going to go back to one of my favorites, that I think was involved in a Jim Rome list that I did. I know I brought this up before. Breed by Nirvana. My absolute favorite Nirvana song is Breed. And I think like that, hitting that song and just sprinting out of the mound, I would be so fired up. I wouldn't even need warm-up pitches. I'd just be ready to go.
It would have to be a Seattle Mariner, of course, though.
Of course. Yes. If there's anybody there who's a Mariners fan, I'm trying to think who their closer is right now, but the Angels are so terrible. I've checked out of baseball, but like, yeah, Breed by Nirvana. Great intro. Great song. At number 3, I wish UNLV, their football team, would use this, find a way to make this happen or whatever. But I think, again, I love the slow buildup of songs. And I go, this would be one where I'd have to walk in from the bullpen, but Fear of the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
Fear of the Dark would be such a great stadium anthem with all the fans. Whoa. And then right when you hit the mound, you orchestrate it, you edit it. So like I pick up the ball when you hit the chorus of Fear of the Dark.
Perfect.
At number 2, oh yeah, I get less metal as this goes on, which is weird. Fear of the Dark is really cool. Like I'm looking at this list like, no, this should be one. Like, no, but then I keep going on. Again, slow build-up song, Smashing Pumpkins, Cherub Rock. I love that song. That was the one song that got me into the Smashing Pumpkins. Just
great song.
Like, again, like the gates swing open, it just builds up. Like, again, I'm producing the run up of like hitting the mound, like right when the song hits.
And again, we'd have to get either a Cub or a White Sox to do that to make it more perfect. Because
you know what, that would Chicago. I forget if Corrigan's a White Sox fan or a Cubs fan, but like, yes,
I want to say White Sox, and unfortunately, but
I think that's the case. I don't know why he seems like a White Sox fan, and I don't mean that in any sort of disrespect at all, by any stretch of the imagination. But I would do that. But yeah, so that would be that. And then at number 1, and again, we would have to go, oh, he's a diehard Cubs fan.
Oh, just
what do I know?
Word from above. Yeah,
Jeez,
what do I know?
Please. What a jerk I am. That's insulting to say to label him as a White Sox fan.
I was the one that did it. I'm sorry, Billy. I didn't mean it.
Billy, we love you.
Yes,
that's one of the best rock songs of all time. So you're good. And at number 1, and again, I guess this would be another Mariners closer. After the guy who came out to Breed runs out, probably my favorite Pearl Jam song is Animal.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's a great song. That would be a great song. Yeah, I love. That's the Pearl Jam era stuff that I really like. That released.
Oh my God, Versus. I know that a lot of people love 10 for obvious reasons. It's a great album, but like Versus was, to me, you're like, hey, Desert Island, you get one Pearl Jam album. Like, okay, I'm taking Versus.
Well, I go way back with those Pearl Jam guys real quickly. I saw the incredible band Mother Love Bone up in Seattle. I went up there a couple of times to see them, and they were unbelievable. Of course, that's Stone and Jeff from Pearl Jam. And of course, their lead singer unfortunately OD'd before they really ever got off the ground. And then they started a new band, which they called Mookie Blaylock at first. Yeah. And I saw them open for Alice in Chains. And in all honesty, they were not very good. And those guys came up to me after, what did you think of our new band? I'm like, oh yeah, it was interesting. And they weren't very good, but they probably their second gig ever or something. So, but they changed the name to Pearl Jam and they did okay.
They did all right. Yeah, they did all right. It's funny too, because think about them opening up for Alice in Chains. One of the most famed concerts I would think of all. I don't know if it's all time, but like to think about them at the Cow Palace back in what would it have been like 90? Would have been 89, maybe 90. Yeah, when them and Nirvana opened up for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like that still blows my mind. Like that was the kind.
Yeah, that's one of those legendary shows. Although I have to say, I feel really bad saying this because I loved all those bands. I knew all of them. The only band I didn't really know was Nirvana, and I love them and they're incredible. But a couple of times I saw them live, they were not really great. They're pretty sloppy, unfortunately. And Kurt, he had a lot of health issues and whatnot, so he wasn't always on either, which is kind of sad. But that show would have been unbelievable.
Yeah. Just saying, like, what a great concert ticket stub to be like, oh, yeah, by the way, I saw this. Like, I always take great pride in going to see Real Big Fish over and over again one summer. But Blink 182 was one of their supporting acts to the
Oh,
point
wow.
of like, we were going through and then we're like, I'm going to leave during the Real Big Fish show. Like, I'm just here to actually to see Blink 182. And then it switched. And obviously they switched drummers and they took off.
Hey, since you're a big Blink fan, what was your opinion on the guy that came in that replaced was it
Matt
Mark?
Skiba. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was trying to chase him down because he's a big Chicago guy too. I'm like, we should try to get Skiba on my Bears podcast. I go, I think that would be a lot of fun. It's funny because when we were running through the bands that changed singers, I was almost tempted to be like, hey, Blink 182 sort of did this when they brought in Skiba. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
I thought their albums were good. And I thought it was good. It's not the same. Like, I welcome back Tom DeLonge, obviously. But I thought he did really well. And I saw one of the last shows at Irvine Meadows was a Blink 182 show with Matt and really enjoyed it. I thought they were really good. They were really tight.
I saw him a couple of times with him. The reason I bring it up is because he's a really good friend with a couple of really good friends of mine. And they were the ones that said, hey, we got to go see him. And I met him. Super, super nice guy. Like, if you really want him on your podcast, I can easily reach out to them.
Dude, yeah. Say, hey, do you want to go talk Bears on this idiot's podcast? And see if he's down with it.
Yeah, I'll ask him because they're the guys that manage Kill Switch, and they're two of my best friends. So,
cool.
Super tight with him. So I might have seen Blink with him more than I did with Tom, maybe because we went like 3 or 4 times just because they're such good friends, and he's a good dude. So I'll reach out and see what they say. I don't even know what he's doing now.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm sure now. I think Alkaline Trio is still playing, and I know that he played with the other 3 guys. Like, he came out and played, and I'm glad that happened because I think that when certain situations like that happen, I think that it's always good to recognize, like, hey, somebody came in and did a really nice job for us. Like, it's not, I don't think that it was any slight against Tom or anything like that, but those guys needed to go through what they went through, and they all made great music. And so I think it's cool to celebrate everybody.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. That was amazing as always. And I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
I hope so. Let's do this again some other time.
All right, cool. Thanks. You got to stay on for a couple minutes while we download the audio.